terms of fast bowlers being fiery and intimidating, I don't know, I think that's a bit of a stereotype sometimes.
Bolt. Terrific delivery from Elyse Perry. And Australia well and truly on top in this game now.
It really is such a fickle game in the sense that 1 minute you are on top and then the next minute you can be totally destroyed in a sense by the batter. There's a particular spot on the pitch that I always tend to look at, regardless of what the batter's doing or what people in the field are doing or what people off the field are doing or what the umpire's doing. You're sort of just really acutely aware of what you're doing. The biggest thing for me is about rhythm. It's not so much about speed, but just that sort of really rhythmical feeling that I feel running into bowls. For me, what really motivates me is just the challenge of getting better and then being able to achieve something that you want to. Particularly in a sport like cricket, but any sport, I don't think you're ever as good as you can be. As I step onto the field, you certainly don't feel alone. You feel like you're in a group and you're sort of surrounded by teammates in front of you and behind you, and so you can see everyone else. You can feel their energy and excitement, and I think sometimes the tighter the situation, the better, because you're more focused and switched on when you walk out. So I suppose I sort of felt like that. I think too, Test cricket's such a special game to play and you always want to make the most of that.
Because that's worked nicely by Perry to the leg side. Perry is able to connect extremely well.
Short and work down to third man, that's going to run away.
Pair sort of out in the middle in really tough conditions, you know, in a period of the game that was pretty crucial.
That's a brilliant shot. Absolutely pure class from Elyse Perry. And that's the end of day 2. Australia 5 for 177. And Elyse Perry, she's 70 not out.
Perry's away.
Well, and delicately played this time by Perry, who's into the 90s.
Yeah, I think I'd certainly, in the scheme of the innings, I was probably a little bit more nervous than at other points. I do remember a couple of their fielders close to the bat, like, kind of letting me know about it, but I guess in a way too, like, when that happens, it makes you focus a little bit more.
Marsh in. Here we go. Is this Elyse Perry's maiden 100? Yes, it is! Elyse Perry, her maiden 100 for Australia, and how happy is she? She's done it with her best mate and in her home city in front of a brilliant crowd here at North Sydney Oval, and look at the Australian crowd.
Yeah, it was a special moment. I think I've obviously played cricket with Pez since we were 9 years old, so to be at the other end was pretty special, and I guess it was a nice touch that I got to be out there and give her a hug.
Looking at the photo that we have of each other when it happened and we're hugging, and yeah, it kind of just felt really special.
She's in Sydney, it's her hometown, she's in front of her home crowd, her family's here, her husband's here, she's with her best mate out in the middle. It just can't get any better than that.
I think I just kind of felt like I'm just going to keep going for as long as I can and see what happens.
A little bit of width, does she get through her field? Of course she does. Swept well too. On charge, it's through the field, it's past Brunt.
Elyse Perry, 150.
I think I was just being really selfish. I was really enjoying batting out there, and yeah, it was just such an awesome atmosphere.
Well, that starts up really nicely for Perry.
Perry driving. She's into 191.
Faith in shooter. If you watch the replay, there's a couple of interesting shot selections from shooter.
So the nerves kicked on a little bit there, but I'm just so glad she got to that number and she got to it twice.
And that's exactly where she goes. Is it enough? Yes, it is! Elyse Perry brings up her 200 in style. What a moment for her.
She has played an innings to remember for everyone at North Sydney Oval today.
I genuinely blame it on the crowd. They all cheered like it was 6, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going with this. I think it was Sarah Taylor, the England wicketkeeper, that tapped me on the shoulder and was like, I'm not sure that was 6, they're actually just checking it. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be embarrassing.
No, it's 4. It's 4 and she celebrated. Can you believe it? Put your helmet back on, Elyse Perry.
Never forget the look on her face when she realised it was a 4. Like, we both were like, oh my word. Like, it was, that's the golden moment that I wish I could play in a GIF over and over.
There's a 1, they'll look for 2. No. So she's on 199.
And then everyone's anxious again because they're thinking, oh, we hope she gets to that double 100 because that'll be, 1, a little bit embarrassing, and 2, you know, she really deserved it. She batted really well.
So what about the pressure on Beacon Shoot?
Yeah, this will be the most important ball she ever faces.
Oh, punches it. And the crowd erupts. There we go.
I've never had that much cheer in my entire life. Even when I've taken wickets, I've been in front of big crowds. That was definitely the biggest cheer I've ever had in my life, and I felt so flattered.
And Elyse Perry has the strike. Driven down, she's taking off, and she's done it. She's done it for a second time.
We got to celebrate it twice.
There was no thought of going as hard again, definitely not. I was, accepted a lot more humility in the second.
Is she going to celebrate the first time just as much as the first time? No, she just puts the bat up. And relief for Elyse Perry.
And I said it the first time and I'll say it the second time. What an innings, what a player. And what a moment for this North Sydney crowd. It's been an absolutely brilliant innings from Elyse Perry.